Anthony Edwards is one of my favorite young players in basketball, and he's probably one of your favorite young players in basketball as well, especially if you're watching this video. But I do think there are things that I've noticed with Anthony Edwards that I think he could improve on, and I do kind of want to talk about those things in today's video. But before we get into today's video, if you're new and you like basketball, I really think you'll love this channel. Haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, and be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos like this just talking to you about basketball, giving you my authentic thoughts. So if that interests you, this is the channel for you. Let's try to get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. I'm trying to reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so doing all those things will be a really big help to me. Trying to do daily uploads in this month, so if you want consistent basketball content in the month of December, I know a lot of you guys are on break or going to be on break, so if you want basketball content again, this is the place for you. But let's get right into it. So this season, Anthony Edwards is averaging around, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 42% from the field, almost 35% from 3, almost 78% from the line. Yes, I rounded up, it doesn't really matter. You can look at the stats here if you want. But you look at what he's doing, 3-point volume being up with the percentage being up is an encouraging sign, even if it's not a big one, and he's still technically below league average, I would say. The field goal percentage going up is encouraging, even if it's slightly, considering he's taking way more shots, or a few more shots I should say, and 2-point field goal percentage going up minutely, but still seeing a volume increase and seeing any sort of percentage increase I think is an encouraging sign. Rebounding's up, assists are up, so are turnovers, about the same as his turnover ratio, I would say. A lot of this does have to do with the fact that he's playing more minutes. He went from playing 32 minutes as a rookie because he did come off the bench for a little bit at the start of the season to being a full-time starter playing 36 minutes a night as a sophomore. One thing I do kind of worry about is the free throw rate regression. He took 3.8 free throw attempts a game as a rookie. That was a number I thought could improve. It has gone down. It's only 25 games, but it is something that I've noticed. The thing is, for me, is I don't think this is good for him. The fact that he's only getting to the line around 4 times a game, and it's still below 4 times a game, because he's 6'4", 225 pounds, and really athletic. He should be getting to the line, in my opinion, just based off his scoring skill set, based off the strength that he has and the frame. He should be getting to the line at least like 6 or 7 times a game. I think he can get close to like 8 to 9 attempts. And you might be saying, oh, the new rules, but even with the new rules, guys are starting to find their way back to the line a lot, and there's no reason why Anthony Edwards can't get to the line at least 6 or 7 times, just based off the skills and based off the physical tools that he has. But there are still a lot of the same things that I have problems with, in a way. The mid-range shooting still isn't good. His in-between game again isn't great. He's taking slightly less mid-range shots. He doesn't really take a lot of mid-range shots to begin with. But I do think having an in-between game can be really helpful for him. Considering he's still not the most efficient 3-point shooter, and he's really not an efficient shooter overall. I think this has a lot to do with shot selection problems more than anything. I don't think it's for lack of ability. I do think there is a difference between your field goal percentage being bad because, or your, not field goal percentage, your shooting numbers from, the mid-range and 3-point being bad because you're not a good shooter and you're just taking bad shots. They're 2 different things. And I think it's a lot more of, him just taking bad shots. That's been kind of the story of his career. He has the ability to hit shots. He does. You watch him play, and he doesn't look like somebody that shoots like 20 to 30% from the mid-range, because he's capable of hitting jumpers. He's somebody that, you watch him play, and you can kind of tell he's a more capable shooter than below 35% suggests. But he does have bad shot selection, which he is young. He is only 20. He entered the league really young as well. So, these are things I feel like can be improved upon as time goes on. But at the same time, when you look at him, it will have to improve eventually. You look at, again, those mid-range numbers aren't great. And I think he should be driving to the basket more than he does. He's a very physical player, and when he gets downhill, he's almost unstoppable. Because of the athleticism, because of the strength, because of the handle he has. But he has gone to the paint less than you'd expect. 28%, I think that number should probably be, closer to 35, maybe 40% even. Like, that's the kind of paint scorer I think he can be. If he's taking 45% of his shots from 3, he should be taking at least 35% of his shots from 0 to 3 foot. Because that's, again, the kind of player that he has the chance to be. I do think there are passing flashes with him, but I still think overall it's still a work in progress. Because the turnovers are still high, and when you look at them, a lot of those are still passing turnovers. You can't just look at turnovers and say, okay, has a lot of turnovers, is a bad passer. But you look at it here, there are more bad pass turnovers than, handle turnovers per se. So, there is that. With Ant, it's not like I'm saying this because I don't like him. Again, I mentioned he's one of my favorite young players in the league, and when he has it going, he's very fun to watch, and he has had it going a lot this season. He's had some really fun dunks. One of them was called for an offensive foul. It shouldn't have been called for an offensive foul. This is taking way too long to load. But you look at him, and first game of the season, that was really fun. This game, really fun. And then, oddly enough, a lot of his 40-point games in his career, he shoots well from 3. So, he has shown capability. 48 points here, that was a really good game. He scored 48 points and they still lost. But it wasn't really on him, if we're being quite honest with ourselves. 33 points against the Miami Heat, where he plays a lot of minutes. He's shown capability. Again, I think that these things that I talk about him needing to improve on still need to be improved on, but the talent is still there that, yeah, he is a future potential all-star, all-NBA level guy. But the problems still exist right now. Do I expect them to exist? Yes, I do expect these problems to still exist, because this is his 25th game of his second season. He's barely played a full season's worth of games. He's played 97 in his career. He only has 80 starts in his career, because again, he came off the bench to start his rookie year. But the talent is still there, and I do expect him to improve on these things. I expect, maybe the 3-point sense, I don't think it'll ever be great, but I do think he can get to 35 to 37% from 3. I do hope he starts becoming more aggressive as a slasher, because he can be dangerous in this regard, and he gets the line more. I want to see that improve. Passing, I think, maybe a bit better than what we've seen now, but I think the scorer he can become, will make it so he only has to be an okay to maybe good passer, because that's what I think his ceiling as a passer is. But if he's this good of a scorer, it'll expand his passing just by drawing more gravity and making it easier for others around him. Do I think Anthony Edwards can be a franchise player? That's to be seen. It's way too early to predict something like that. The only talents that you can look at and say, yeah, they're franchise guys off the bat, were Zion Williamson, who has, a bunch of stuff going on this season that, I don't feel like talking about, and Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is the other one I looked at right away and said, franchise player. It really took, someone like Trae Young till about year 3, I would say, for me to say, okay, yeah, he can be a franchise guy. It took Tatum until around year 3 or year 4 for me to say, okay, he can be a franchise guy. It took Steph Curry a while to become that guy. It took James Harden a while to be that franchise guy. It's just rare to find a guy right off the bat you can look at and say, yep, that's the face of the franchise. He can be the guy that we build around. And I think that's true for Ant as well. Do I think he has a talent to do it? Yes, but talent isn't everything. Right now, if I had to make a prediction, sorry, I accidentally hit my mic. high-end number 2, which as a ceiling to be a high-end number 2, that's still like top 15 player in the league. Because there are a bunch of high-end number 2s that are top 15 in the league. You know, it's hard to be a number 1 on a true contender in the league. And, you know, I just don't feel comfortable putting that kind of ceiling on Anthony Edwards, even though I don't think you can put a ceiling on him. You know, just because it's a hard expectation to reach. Could he reach it? Who knows? Maybe he can. I wouldn't doubt it, but right now, like, it's just hard to predict something like that, especially when he's only played, you know, 97 games in his career and only has 80 starts. Anything's possible. Do I hope it can become a franchise player in the face of a franchise that leads a team deep into the playoffs? Absolutely. He's a great personality. He's so easy to root for. And I'm rooting for him to succeed. But at the same time, realistically, it's just hard to predict something like this early on. But regardless of that, I enjoy watching Anthony Edwards. I don't always overthink what his ceiling could be when I watch him. I just enjoy watching him play because he's a very fun player to watch. A very fun personality off the court. And someone that's very easy to root for. And I'm rooting for him to become that guy. Become one of the 10 best players in the league. Because I think it would be great for basketball if he is one of the 10 best players in the league.